All right, well, welcome everybody. I'm so happy to be here with you all again tonight on another episode of the Life Artist Show. And my name is Mariel Morales, and I am known as the Life Artist. I am a life coach and the founder of the Beautiful and Confident Movement for Women, where I help them transform, break out of their cocoon, and go from invisible to visible. I'm working with emotionally abused women to restore their self confidence so that they can live in healthy relationships as they create the life of their dreams. So, share this out, ladies, so that more of you can come and learn more about this important topic. Because tonight we're going to start digging deeper and figuring out if maybe the way you behave and the unhappiness that you feel is caused because you have scars from emotional abuse. I didn't know that the reason I was so unhappy for the last million years of my life until the last 3 years that I figured it out. With help, of course, because this is something you cannot do on your own. You need somebody to guide you. And that's what I'm here for. So when I was really, really unhappy and not really knowing why all of my relationships were just broken and not working the way I wanted it, and I wasn't just having the right type of connections with people. It wasn't just boyfriends or husbands, it was also relatives, friends, people at work. It was just a lot of chaos in my relationships. They were never really satisfying relationships, and I didn't know that it was because I was carrying emotional abuse scars into all of my relationships. And so that is why I feel an extreme responsibility to help you all identify if you are one of them and help you restore that confidence level that maybe you have lost so that you can start having awesome relationships and enjoy having a great life like I am enjoying now. So to get started, I'm going to have my video here so that you know more about me and my story. Hi, my name is Maria Morales, and I am the Life Artist. I am the founder of the Beautiful and Confident Movement for Women, where I help them transform, break out of their cocoon, and go from invisible to visible. I teach them to let go of old cycles, spread their wings, and become the beautiful and confident artists of their own life. It was 2 years ago when I finally hit rock bottom. I found myself divorced for the second time. I was very overweight, and I felt so ugly and unlovable. I realized I didn't even know who I was or who I wanted to be. I was in so much pain that I remember always trying to disappear and even attempted suicide. I would come home and cry myself to sleep every single night. I felt like all I had was my dog Lily and my dark life. It got to a point that I felt so lonely and so awkward that I couldn't even go outside alone without getting extreme anxiety and panic attacks. Eventually, little by little, I started becoming more comfortable and wanting to find myself again. I started working with an amazing therapist who helped me work through all my deepest issues and gave me the desire to finally be visible for the first time in my life. It was after a year of working on myself and changing the way that I talk to the woman in the mirror that I found me. And I fell in love with the new me. It was all I wanted to be my whole life. Through this experience, I created my business Beautiful and Confident, where I help women just break out of the cycle of self-hate, teach them how to love themselves and how to become the beautiful and confident women that they were always meant to be. I created a program where women could self-discover, let go of the issues that have been holding her back her whole life. They're going to learn how to be confident, beautiful, strong-minded, and they will finally be happy with who they are. I look forward to helping you become the right artist, just like I do. Join me in this beautiful and confident movement. Awesome, awesome. That video always gets me pumped and it reminds me of why I started this beautiful movement of helping emotionally abused women restore their self-confidence, teach them how to let go of the old cycles, the old patterns, so that they can actually live in healthy relationships and become the artists of their own life. You can do this. It is hard, but you can do it, and it's so worth it, ladies. So let's get started with the topic tonight. If you haven't shared video yet, just please do, so that some other lady can benefit from this information. You don't know who you could be blessing today with this. So today I want to start with some statistics that are very, very sad. The first one is that 35% of all women who are or have been in married relationships have experienced some type of emotional abuse. 29% of women that have been physically assaulted by their male partners at some point of their life. It's a lot of women. And the presence of emotional abuse is the largest risk factor and the greatest predictor of physical violence in the future, especially when the woman has been called names, is being put down, or is being made feel bad. It just starts that way, and the emotional abuse eventually could lead to physical violence. Emotionally abusive partners also are the ones that commit murder or murder suicide. And we've been hearing so many stories of those where the partner comes back, kills everybody, kills the kids, kills the woman, and then kills himself. And I just, it's so sad to me, and it hurts me to the core to know that so many women are accepting abuse for so long. They don't even know how to get out of it. They don't know how to find a partner that's actually gonna be a healthy partner with them. It's just, there's so many patterns that need to be broken that women are just not aware of. And the women that get killed are the ones that are they're the most risk of being killed is when they leave their partners. So they're very afraid of leaving them because that's when things get worse. And so women themselves can also be suicidal as a result of emotional abuse. So these statistics are very intense. But we also have the women that are also feeling completely inadequate, that haven't had, maybe something of that magnitude. I mean, my relationships were not abusive to the point where I was going to be hurt. Yes, I did have some physical abuse and some encounters with different people, but they weren't really like my whole relationships were not that way. But the emotional abuse started when I was a child. And then it continued through my adulthood. And I didn't know why all of the people I was attracting in my life were about abusing me emotionally. I didn't even know I was being emotionally abused to begin with. So most people don't recognize emotional abuse as something important and don't even know the long-term consequences of being abused emotionally. And the reason is because this type of abuse, the emotional one, doesn't leave scars or visible wounds like physical abuse or sexual abuse does. But they're just as bad, if not worse, because nobody sees them and people just continue to allow them to happen to them. So this type of abuse is extremely damaging to a woman's self-esteem, and it really hinders the ability to function properly in life in the future. So staying in an emotionally or verbally abused relationship can have long-lasting effects on your physical and mental health, including chronic pain. A lot of women that have been emotionally abused don't even know why they're in chronic pain. And we're not talking about fibromyalgia here. We're talking about that they're always complaining about something hurting. They have headaches, they get depression, they get anxiety issues, and some of them, like I did, attempt suicide one or more times. So long-term effects can actually show physical effects. We just don't know that they're coming from that. And that's the problem. So what do you think so far, ladies? Isn't this pretty important for us to speak about? Not a lot of people speak about this openly. And I'm no longer going to hide it. I was an emotionally abused woman. And at some points, I did have some physical abuse as well. But the thing that really hurt me the most was the emotional abuse that I kept allowing myself to have by different people because I had no idea what was wrong with me. So I want to share today several characteristics of women that have been emotionally abused, but don't even know why they behave the way they do. And maybe they don't even recognize that their behavior comes from emotional abuse, like I didn't recognize it. So there's some very specific things that I want you to consider and think about yourself. because the abused woman doesn't even know what normal behavior is. So whatever behavior she is experiencing from her partner, from her spouse, from her parents, from her coworkers, from her boss, she thinks it's normal, even though it probably is very unhealthy and is not a normal behavior at all. Another one could be that the abused woman has difficulty maintaining their focus and drive. So if you have been feeling like you just cannot focus on the things you want to accomplish in life, you can't focus at work, maybe you just don't have the energy, the motivation, or the drive to do what you would like to do. It could be that you are having some of those long-term effects from emotional abuse from your past or from your current situation. You may also notice that you get paralyzed by your own negativity. So you find it hard to start something new and to finish anything you start. So you start projects, you start doing this, you start doing that, and then you never finish. And it's you're just filled with negativity in your head. This comes from emotional abuse, believe it or not. Abused women are also super critical of themselves. I call it self-bullying. They're constantly criticizing themselves. Oh, I'm fat. Oh, I'm ugly. I'm just not smart enough. I'm just so stupid. I'm so dumb. Nobody likes me. I just can't I just can't find a good husband. My kids don't listen to me. Everybody walks all over me. I don't think I can do it. I'm just not smart enough for that. You constantly criticize yourself. You have no idea how to speak to that woman in the mirror, and you're totally bullying her. You don't need anybody to abuse you. You abuse yourself every day. Are you one of those? Do you notice that that's what you do all the time? Another typical characteristic of this type of women is that they feel the need to justify themselves to everyone. And I noticed that I was doing that even recently. I still have some of the patterns sometimes that they come back, and I don't even notice that I'm doing the same thing I used to do, which was justifying myself for all of my actions, all of my decisions, for what I'm wearing, for the decisions I made on my business, for the makeup I'm wearing, for the places I choose to go to, for the vacations I choose to take, for the job I choose to do. I would justify to everybody why I'm doing it when I have no reason to give anybody any explanations, because I am me and it's my life. I do what I want, right? So the emotionally abused women still have this mentality that you have to justify yourself consistently. And this type of women also have the tendency to take everything too hard and everything too seriously. Everybody's out to get them. Everybody's trying to hurt them. Nobody treats them right. And sometimes none of that is happening. It's all in your head because you are used to that type of behavior from others. And you still have the victim mentality. Other one that happens is that you have difficulty trusting. You don't trust that people have the right intentions. You don't trust your partner, your spouse, your boyfriend. You think that they're always going to cheat on you. Every single person in your life is going to betray you. You feel the need to be monitoring everything they do. This all comes from experiencing emotional abuse and betrayal in the past. And you still carry those scars that they have not gone away. They also overreact and catastrophize even on the smallest problem. So they make everything a freaking big deal. Everything is a catastrophe, all right? Maybe you are one of those women that faithfully records in your head every last criticism that you have experienced, and you never accept praise. These are the type of people that are so used to being told that they don't look good, and they hate themselves so much they don't even see the beauty in them, that whenever somebody tells you, oh, you look pretty today, oh, I like that dress on you, you're like, oh, well, thank you, but I don't feel that pretty today. Or I wish it would look this better on me because this and this and that. Oh, I'm actually fat, I really haven't lost any weight. Oh, I don't think I'm just saying it because you're just nice to me. So you discard the praises because you're so used to criticism, not only from the people that have criticized you your whole life, but for the criticism that you do yourself. And this type of women, they need approval and affirmation and tend to look for it in all the wrong places. I always felt like I needed to be validated consistently. The man had consistently had to tell me I look good, that I look sexy, that he loved me, that he was not going to leave me. Um, in the job, I always needed to have somebody to praise me for what I did. If I didn't get enough praises, then I felt like, well, I must be doing something wrong. I'm just probably not good at this. I probably look ugly. You haven't said anything today how I look today. I did my makeup really pretty and you haven't said anything. I mean, you talk like this to your family, to your friends, to your coworkers, to your boyfriends, to your spouse, because you have this constant need of approval and affirmation. And then you find it in the wrong places. Somebody will tell you, and then you believe that that person is really giving you what you need, when in fact it's not really what you need to hear. You need to give affirmation yourself. You need to feel good about yourself regardless if anybody says anything that day. So another characteristic of any and long-term effect of emotional abuse is that they're usually going to be feeling different to other people as the result of their relationships in the past. So they just assume this is who I am and this is who I'm always going to be because of what happened to me in the past. When you don't have to be defined by your past, you can work this out and get it out of your system. And then be who you want to be regardless of what happened to you before. And abused women also view their future and think that it will always be as hard as the present and that nothing will ever change. So for them, it's not even worth trying to have a better life because they've just so filled with the negativity of the things that they have seen their whole life that they just don't think it's ever going to get better. So if you really identify with any of these characteristics, then maybe you were emotionally abused, or you're still in an abusive relationship and you're experiencing these long-term effects of emotional abuse and you don't even know that that's where it comes from. All of that behavior that we just mentioned is very typical of women that experience severe emotional abuse at some point in their life, or that are still receiving it and they just don't think it's emotional abuse. A lot of women think that emotional abuse is nothing because the person is not physically touching them and hurting them. When in fact, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. Emotional abuse is just as painful and as problematic as if somebody laid a hand on you. Okay? So don't take it lightly. So that is all I have for you today. I would love to hear your perspective on this. Let me know what you think, if you know somebody like this, or if maybe you identified yourself with any of these characteristics and you'd like to change who you are. Because I have a free masterclass coming up on Sunday the 16th, where we're going to help you and invite you to change your mindset and start healing yourself from all of these long-term side effects. You can start healing yourself as early as Sunday, working on yourself and designing the new woman that you want to be. So join me in the masterclass. It's free. Sunday at September 16th at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And all you need to do is click on the link that's right there on the pinned comments, on the pinned post, is bit.ly/masterclass ready. And then what you're gonna do is when you register, you have to check your junk mail because you need to click on that email that will come through, that will go into your junk. You won't even know it's there. And then you have to click on it and say, add me to the list, and then you will receive the instructions and you'll be able to download the worksheet because this is a hands-on class. So you'll need to download the worksheet and come ready to work on yourself on Sunday. Now, if you can't attend the live event on Sunday, then still register because then I can send you the replay and you can work on it yourself afterwards. So I hope to see you all on Sunday. There's nothing to lose and a ton to gain if you come to this masterclass on Sunday night. Take care of your family, put your kids to bed, prepare for Monday, and then come and spend your time, sometime on yourself. Maybe you haven't done this in a very, very long time. I promise you will not have any regrets of spending some time with me. And I also want to invite you to join my private group, Future Life Artists, because I started a series on what types of emotionally abused women exist. And we're talking about where it all started, how it all started. Who were the people that abused you that maybe you didn't even realize that it came from that. So in my Future Life Artist group, that's where you're gonna get the extras, all right, the big bonus. So you get kind of like the big overview here on the show on my Beautiful and Confident page, but you get the details and that we get into the nitty gritty of this topic inside of my private group. It's a safe space where you can actually really let loose and ask more questions, learn more about yourself, and talk about what it is that's causing you so much trouble so that we can help you overcome it. So join my Future Life Artist group, and also go register right now on the masterclass so that you don't miss it. Thank you so much for being here again. Share this out if you found some value, and I will see you very soon. My name is Maria Morales, the life artist and the founder of the Beautiful and Confident Movement for Women, where I help emotionally abused women like you transform and restore their self-confidence so that you can live in healthy relationships as you create the life of your dreams. I will see you soon. Thank you so much.